Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Aging in Style with American Retirement Advisors. Joining me this morning is President and owner Joe Vitale. Thank you so much for calling in, Joe.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, Colette.
Good morning. Today we're talking about saving for retirement. So how much should we save, and what if we have debt?
Well, saving, we're Dave Ramsey Smart Investors, so we love getting rid of debt as much as possible. And we subscribe to the philosophy as soon as you get all your debt paid off, you should be saving 15% of your income for retirement. A lot of times it can be not that difficult, especially if you're in a situation where you have a 401k and you're able to put money away and then the company does match. That also really helps. I mean, that's probably one of the best ways to achieve that goal. But we definitely like to see the debt, depending on the debt load and what your interest rate is and how much debt you have. That's why it's really important to have a good financial advisor, somebody who understands, to help you navigate, get the debt out of there, work with you on making sure that you're really saving the right way for your retirement. Because sometimes it can be counterproductive. I've had people say, well, I want to put a bunch of money away, and they don't have that much, and their debt is killing them. If we can get rid of the debt, there's so much more we can save. Even if we do, match. If you do have a lot of debt, take advantage of the matching at your employer, because you definitely want to, for minimum, you're getting the match, because that's free money you're leaving on the table otherwise.
Okay, look, I'm taking notes. These are great tips. Okay, Joe, listen to this. So for homeowners out there, should we pay off our house early?
Love the fact of paying off the house early. I will tell you personally, we just built a house about 6 years ago. So my house is not paid off. I would love to have it, but I actually have it on a 15-year at 3%, and I'm just making as many payments as possible to get it paid off early. And that's what, yes, I would love to have. I'm a huge advocate in having the house paid off and doubling up, getting that, as long as you're making sure you're investing as well. You don't want to put all your discretionary funds towards the house to pay it off and not invest. You want to make sure, especially in today's market, we're starting to see the market come back. We're not down that much from where we were, maybe another 10%. But the thing is if you can double up, if you do the calculations on your home, you're going to pay 2 or 3 times the amount that you paid for the home just in interest alone. Wow. So just taking little strategies to help put a little bit more towards the principal, paying it off. When you can go into retirement with no house payment, that really takes a huge burden off what you're going to need to live on. So yeah, that would be a great strategy. I love paying off the house early, so I would look at strategies, and that's something we'd always want to sit down with families and talk about, make sure we do that.
Right. Now, we always hear also, Joe, that you need to have an emergency fund. So how much should we have in an emergency fund?
Well, it all depends on what your income is and what your expenses are. We always say 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. So if your income is $8,000, you should have almost $40,000-$50,000 in emergency. And this pandemic is a great example of why. How many families lost their income? How many families had to wait for the stimulus checks? And if you had that emergency fund, and we've talked with our clients, we made sure they're properly allocated, which is something we always talk about. And if you're properly allocated and you have that emergency fund, you are able to weather the storms. Because you look at this, our lives have changed over the last few months with this pandemic, and some people really got hurt by it. And those who were able to weather the storm and had the emergency funds are going to land a lot better on their feet than some people just can't. So thankfully there were some things put into place to help. But definitely you want to have a good 3 to 6 months for emergencies. You always want to have cash on hand. Too many people say, well, I'm going to take my emergency fund, I want to invest it, right? Because I want to maximize it and get a great return. Well, that wouldn't have helped you if you had your emergency fund in investments, because the market went down. And you can't pull the money out when the market goes down. That's going to hurt you even worse. So you definitely want to have your emergency fund in a place that's pretty liquid. Getting like mine actually gets a 1.8% return. It's nothing to write home about, but it's there for emergencies, and that's why I have it there.
Okay, I like that. Now, Let's stick with the market, okay? So what if we can't handle market risks? Are there any safe investments that we can make?
You know, yes, there are. If, as a fiduciary, I have to listen to my clients. So when you say I can't handle market risk, I had one of my clients who she'll remain nameless in the area, and I asked her, I says, if the market goes down, how much are you prepared to lose? And she says, I better never lose a penny. Well, when she tells me that, I can't put her into the market. That because you can go up and down. There's volatility. So there are some safe, very good safe investments that we use for those clients who the market, if the market does go up, you can get a 3, 4, 5, 6, 8% return with zero risk. So the market, if you lose, if the market goes down 30% like we see, our clients lost no penny, nothing, not one penny. And you know, you're not going to get the huge upside of the market, but that's okay. A lot of our clients are simply saying, just give me a decent rate of return. I want to make sure my money is safe. It's like that old saying, you know, show me the return of my money, not the return on my money. And it's okay to be properly balanced and properly allocated, but for those who are risk adverse, yes, there are some really good safe investments. I encourage you to give me a call and I can explain what those would be for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, Joe, now with this pandemic, okay, so many people are switching jobs, some people are losing their jobs. What should they do with their 401k?
Oh, we see this all the time. We're seeing so many calls now from families who are saying, listen, I lost my job, or I took another job. You know, we have so many families contacting us who come in from different states taking different jobs, and their 401k is just sitting there. They didn't like where it was before. They don't know what to do. Definitely give us a call. You have our number, the 833-NO-JOE. Give us a call, because we can roll that 401k into an IRA, give you a lot better management potential, give you a lot of options, and you can hold it as your own IRA so that you don't have to stay where it's at. You have more options. So I encourage anybody to give us a call. If you have a 401k, you don't know what to do with it, you're switching jobs, you no longer have the job, let's make sure that money, we've had families who've had 401ks just sit there for years and not do anything because they never rebalanced it. So we want to get it professionally managed. We want to make sure that it's going in the right direction and really working to help meet your goals.
Well, thank you, Joe, for the valuable tips for our viewers. We appreciate you calling in. We always love your segment.
Oh, great. Thank you for having me. I wish everybody the best.
Okay, thank you. If you would like any more information about this topic, please head on over to the Hot Links section at WNEM.com.